I think I'm live. I think we're live. Hello. Okay, yeah. Okay. This looks like I'm working. Let me check here on the old YouTube, see if I'm live here. Yeah, Popsicle live. Solo Steeeee. Oh, I'm live. Okay, all right. Let's check this out. Let's go over here to. I don't even think I need Discord right now. I think I'm just live. Right now. And if I go over here to YouTube, I'm not sure if I need to stay on the channel of Neon Popsicle. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I think it's better if I just go to Discord anyway. Open this up, the screen. You should be able to see my Discord. Let's check it out. Got my YouTube there. I'm looking at the chat here. I'm looking at the chat. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I think it's better if I just go to Discord anyway. I think I can do it. Yeah, we got the Discord right there. So then we can watch the video. Yeah, okay. So this is looking pretty good. If I just go to Discord here, or OBS, I make myself a little smaller. How do I mean, I got chat right here. So I don't really need to. But you guys want chat. I think I can do it. Yeah, we got the Discord right there. So then you guys want chat. We got to put chat up. How do I put chat up here? Scene selection. How do I get chat up here? I mean, I got chat right here. So I don't really need to. You guys don't necessarily. I mean, I'm only on YouTube. So YouTube crowd can see my chat. Okay, so we're good. All right. So in the meantime, what I'll do here is, and I will click here and show. Welcome back to another episode of Neon Popsicle. We're out here live. Solo episode today with Steeeee. Unfortunately, Jason this time has been abducted by the aliens. And no, not the illegal ones. I'm talking about the space ones, the space aliens. He'll have more to talk about, I suppose, next time. But we're just kicking it. We're just kicking it live here. Let me see. Looks like we're just chilling. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and find. Finding my. I guess space aliens would be illegal also. If they came from Earth. I mean, from space to Earth, they would hella be illegal. So what you guys up to, chat? Appreciate you guys. What's going on tonight? How y'all doing? We're gonna check out some videos later on. We're gonna farm the slop. See what you guys are doing. If anybody wants to join the Discord, jump on in Discord. I'll put you into the live episodes. I'm gonna jump in there right now. You guys should see me in live episodes. If you're in the Discord, you'll see me in live episodes. Go ahead and join live episodes. Actually, no. Go ahead and join the Neon Waiting. I'll see you that you're waiting in the Neon Waiting Room, and I will go ahead and bring you into the live episodes. Tonight will be a live caller episode. I should say viewer call-in episode. If you guys want to chill or have a call in, we can do that. I got some stuff on the docket tonight that we can dive into. But before I do, I would like to say the intro. We appreciate you guys watching Neon Popsicle. It's the only show online where we free our minds, open our minds, free our spirits, and admit as man, we truly No, nothing. I'm your host tonight, Neon Steeeee.
We appreciate you guys watching Neon Popsicle.
And we out here tonight.
The only show
I haven't invoked yet, so I am charging my invocation unit here. Giving chat time to sign in and see what's up here. How you guys doing tonight, chat? Gonna grind me up some of this beautiful green. I hope you guys are having a good night. I myself just came from my buddy's new brewery. He just opened, I should say, just bought a new brewery in town, and I was over there. My kid was playing with his kid. We were having a good time. What are you guys up to? What are you guys up to, chat?
I hope you guys are having a good night. I myself just came from my buddy's new brewery.
Yep. We out here. We really out here. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear the videos I'm playing. You should be able to hear the videos I'm playing. We'll see. Today is an experiment for me. Streaming for you guys by myself. I'm usually not running the OBS, so I apologize if anything is a little, you know, not working well, but I hope everything just goes off without a hitch. I assume that when I go to play a video, it'll just play the audio. What? How did I do that? I did that again. Open this up and put them. All right.
Not working well, but I hope everything just goes off without a hitch.
I assume when I play a video, the audio will just feed to the stream that I'm doing, but I don't know. I'm not tech. I'm brawn. As far as the team, me and Jason go here at Neon Popsicle, I'm brawn. He's tech. We got tech and brawn. I'm brawn. He's tech. Brawn means the I'm the force. I'm the force of the operation. Tech, well, needless to say, handles the tech.
I'm not tech. I'm brawn. As far as the team, me and Jason go here at Neon Popsicle, I'm brawn. He's tech. We got tech and brawn.
Tech and brawn. I am brawn. He is tech. Hopefully things go well. I know you guys can hear that tap, tap, tapping. That is my invocation principle. That is my invocation tool here. I'll let you in on a little secret. So throughout time, throughout space, throughout history, there has always been the greats. Okay, the creatives, the great creatives, I should say, throughout time, have always had a principle of invocation, if you will, invoking the muse. Okay, and what I mean by that is stoking the flame of creativity, stoking the flame of the force of creativity, and giving it the respect that it deserves. Okay, acknowledging creation as a force, not just an experience. Okay. Now, when me and Jason first started, not even first started, but when me and Jason were thinking, okay, you know what, this podcast is a podcast of humor. It's a podcast of good times, okay? Not to be taken too seriously. But at the same time, we have to give you the ability to be able to, I guess, differentiate what could be real and what's complete nonsense, okay? So, what I mean by that is we don't take ourselves too seriously. However, we talk about some pretty heady stuff that there's a lot of truth in, okay? Now, we can't talk definitely, all right? I've determined, okay? Algorithms are like that. You can't talk saying, oh, I know for a fact 9/11 was an inside job. Okay, you can't say that. You have to dance around the idea. You have to say, have you heard the idea of 9/11 being an inside job and what these people think? Okay, so back to the idea of invoking the muse. Our muse of this show is the muse Talia, okay? Who's Talia, you may ask? Well, let's take a look together. All right. Let's take a look together. Talia. Who could Talia even be? Well, Talia is a very interesting... she's an interesting figure, okay? So let's just go with it. All right, this will be our first segment together. First segment together, first time seeing how things are going to go streaming. But Talia. All right, so we're going to go into ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is our sidekick. All right, helps us get rid, or not get rid, but helps us find the information we need in order to keep you learning and entertained. So, when it comes to invoking the muse. Okay, now invoking the muse was a big deal for the ancient times. They used to do things like drink spiked wine, for instance. They used to, it was like wine spiked with cannabis, some people say, that made them super creative, okay? Jack Kerouac, for instance. The guy would drink like absinthe or something, right? These people in like the beatniks. Excuse my allergies. But they'd get drunk. I mean, if you drink the right amount, you're invoking the muse. Let me tell you, there's something to say about getting just the right amount of faded from alcohol. You get too faded, you end up hitting your wife. But you get the right amount of faded, you end up running to write a child's book, which you follow through with, and just hesitate on the publishing of, like myself. Now, let's see. Pardon my allergies. This is going to be gross. I'm going to be sniffing all night. Okay. Talia B. When it comes to ancient goddess stuff. Okay, so what you guys can see with me, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to do... Alright, so I got to grab myself. I got to make myself a little smaller here. I'm going to go ahead and put myself in the corner. Alright, so this will be for you guys, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay? Alright, so Talia is one of the 9 muses from Greek mythology. Specifically, hear me out, neon citizens. Specifically, she is the muse of comedy and idyllic poetry. Okay? Now, her name means the flourishing one, or blooming. She represents lightheartedness, joy, festivity, and the arts that lift the spirit. Now, if Neon Popsicle does one thing in this life, it's lift the spirit, okay? That's why Neon J and myself call upon the power of Talia, invoke Talia through the ritual of fire and plant to help us flow through the ideas that Neon Popsicle provides you with, the truth that Neon Popsicle provides you with. Now, let's see here. Let me make myself a little smaller here so you guys can see. Now, Talia is one of the 9 muses, okay, from Greek mythology. Specifically, she is the muse of comedy and idyllic poetry. Her name means the flourishing one or blooming. And she represents lightheartedness, joy, festivity, and the arts that lift the spirit. Now, she's often depicted wearing a comic mask, a symbol of theater and laughter. So you know those 2 masks? The smiley one and the sad one? They're like side by side. Okay. She represents the smiley mask of those 2 masks. She's also known or represented holding a shepherd's staff or wreath of ivy, which are symbols of pastoral poetry, as you can see here. And she's also illustrated, typically radiating a playful, joyous aura. All right. We bring up a lot of heavy stuff here on Neon Popsicle. Okay, things like world leaders, world powers, stuff that some people just don't really want to think about because it ends up being one of those like, what am I going to do anyway type of things. But it's important to think about it, and it's important to be aware of these things. And I think that we provide this information with like a joyous aura, with a playful vibe, so you can go into it less intimidated and less threatened by the whole concept, okay? If you're invoking a muse for something like Neon Popsicle, which leans into satire, irony, absurdity, psychedelic playfulness, Talia is 100% the right pick. You hear this? Now, I don't know if this is just AI gaslighting me again, like we always talk about in this freaking show. But even ChatGPT agrees that Talia is 100% the right pick as our invocation, as the muse that we choose. The muse that we choose. She's 100% the right pick for the muse that we choose to go forward in the show. Okay? She'd be the cosmic force behind humorous revelations, stoner comedy with meaning, and commentary that's both playful and pointed. Okay? However, looks like there's some more info here. That said, don't confuse her with the Grace Charity, also named Talia, who's more about festivity and general joy, not a muse. Okay. So the short answer, Talia is the muse of comedy. Perfect if you're channeling divine inspiration for laughter, social satire, or joyful subversive truth, which we are. Okay, Neon Popsicle is all about divine inspiration and subversive truth. That's just what we're about. Okay, so today on the docket, we got some pretty important stuff today on the docket, okay, guys? Now, we have some very important stuff. I would like to cover, just because, not that we're a political channel per se, however, I think it's important to cover the world events, okay? As you know, Trump has recently bombed Iran, all right? Bombed their nuclear sites on behalf of Israel, okay? Now, here while I'm live, let me post a link real quick on my Instagram. Okay, so it's 9:30 now, so I'm gonna go. Hold on one sec. You guys understand, right? View the channel. Neon Popsicle. Let me go ahead and share the link here. Okay. Alright, let me share that. Oh my gosh, guys. Guys, hold on. This Let me just hold on, guys. Just give me a second, please. Can you guys just give me a guys? Just give me a second. Guys, just give me a second. So, oh my gosh, what is going on? Ah, here we go. Okay. New episode. Streaming now. Okay. Let me post the link. Let me just post the link, guys. Gosh. No. Under the nail. Yeah, see, you guys understand. Okay. Guys, let me tag the page. Give me a second, dude. It's a lot of responsibility. I can't do it all at once. Okay? I can't smoke. I can't post all at once. And stream. I'm streaming, guys. A lot of responsibility. Okay? Alright, so. Okay, so apparently the news, CBS, Fox, all them, they've been saying that these strikes on Iran have been complete bullshit. Okay, that that we have not completely obliterated what they have done. Now I'm going to risk something here. Okay, this is very risky because I'm streaming on this channel. I feel like if I switch channels, however, if I open up, let me see here. Actually, I got another idea here. New window. YouTube. Now this is a new window. So I should be able to go to my profile. And not worry about it messing up my live stream, right? Because my other window's still live. But the one behind me, okay, so you guys can see, okay. So let's check this out. So if I do this, and I go to here, and I go to here. This is good, right? You guys can see. Yeah. So you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna go ahead, and then we can see it here. Yeah, you guys can see. Perfect. So, all right, back to the main point. Trump bombs Iran. Okay, bombs Iran because they are super close to nuclear bomb capabilities, right? According to Israel. So Israel's the big bad. Israel is daddy in this case, and they're saying, hey, son, come bomb Iran. They're our neighbors. They're about to have nukes. We can't have them have nukes. We've said they can't have nukes for years. We have to hold our word. We have to keep our word and keep them from having nukes, okay? We have to protect Israel. So it's our whole purpose here on earth is to protect Israel. That's what it seems like. So Israel can't bomb them without our help. So they call on us to bomb Iran. We bomb Iran with the bunker blasters, okay? Bunker buster missiles. Giant missiles that go underground and then blow up when they hit their final destination, or when they hit their final point of contact underground, okay? Because Iran's biggest nuclear facility, if you haven't been following, is underground. It was underground, protected by concrete, blah, blah, blah. So we drop bunker buster bombs, we blow it up. According to Trump, we cause a catastrophic effect on their nuclear project. They are no longer going to have nukes because we're so powerful. We destroyed the shit out of them. Woohoo. Okay? Great. That's great. However, the news, CBS, mainstream media, comes back and says, hey, according to our sources, Trump's attack on Iran didn't do anything. If anything, Trump's attack on Iran really only put them back a few months. They're going to have nukes in a couple months. What he did was, there was no reason to even do that. He's saying he did more than he actually did. Okay. Now, Iran is backing up the mainstream media of our country, which I think Trump used against them too. Remember how Trump was saying, I'm going to decide to bomb them in 2 weeks. It's going to be 2 weeks before I decide. Okay, you remember that? He knows they're watching our media, dude. He didn't let them know. He said, I'm going to take 2 weeks while he was actually getting shit ready to bomb them, okay? I think that they watch our mainstream media. They say that they barely caused any damage. Iran is jumping on that boat telling our people, Trump didn't cause any damage. If anything, he just put us back a few months. And now we're back and we're going to come back stronger and more angry. And we're going to get you, America. We're going to get you. Okay? So the video I'm going to show you is essentially Iran's response, Iran's supreme leader breaking his silence after the ceasefire, which Trump apparently negotiated between Israel and Iran, a ceasefire, so they won't be attacking each other, okay? That's what he says. That's what's supposed to be happening. Iran and Israel, you're not going to attack. Do not attack each other. You don't need to do that anymore. Okay? Give me a W in chat if you heard Trump talking to them about how they're not going to fight anymore, right? Okay. Long story short. This is Iran's supreme leader breaking silence after the ceasefire, claiming victory over the U.S. Claiming victory, saying that what we did doesn't matter. Okay? So check this out. Here we go. We're going to watch this video. I'm going to check out the audio here with you guys, see if it works. But we're going to check out the leader of Iran. We're going to see his response. Okay, then after this, we're going to go into more of the docket. But right now, this is important to go into. This is what's going on in the world today. All right, let's check this out. So check this out. Here we go. We're going to watch this video. I'm going to check out the audio here with you guys, see if it works. We're going to check out the leader of
We met the Iranian government spokeswoman Fatima Mohajerani at her offices here in Tehran. She told us her country would continue to pursue its nuclear program.
We had no intention to move towards a nuclear bomb. It's Israel that has 90 nuclear warheads, but we...
Here with you guys, see if it works. We're going to check out the leader of
The Iranian government spokeswoman Fatima Mohajerani.
This sounds good. It sounds good.
We did not want to go that way. Nonetheless, we will obtain the scientific knowledge to do what we want with our program.
Since we arrived in Iran, what struck us is how Iranians from across the political spectrum, and who often agree on very little, said outside forces bombing their nation is no path forward.
The result was deep solidarity. Even those who had open grievances came together to help.
I'm pretty surprised that Iran is using a woman to be their spokesman. Isn't that... Or am I just behind? I thought they stoned women who spoke out or something. Maybe I'm ignorant.
Support Iran.
The official line from the leadership is that Iran's nuclear program is far from obliterated, as President Trump has insisted.
See, so Iran is saying that it's far from obliterated. That was the word that Trump was using. Obliterated. He obliterated the nuclear potential of Iran. But she's saying, and our mainstream media is also saying, far from obliterated.
These facilities have been seriously damaged. Any further reports should come from technical experts in the field.
So there is a possibility that these sites have been completely destroyed.
I want to stress that these facilities have been seriously damaged. However, we must wait for the reports.
So Imtiaz, with this kind of destruction, how are the Iranians thinking about their nuclear program in the long term?
Well, what's been interesting is that in all our trips here to Iran, it's clear that this is a nation that deeply reveres.
This sounds like a pre-recorded answer, which is odd. But it sounds like a pre-recorded answer. I'm just saying. It sounds like listen. Let's listen again.
Your program in the long term.
Well, what's been interesting is that in all our trips here to Iran, it's clear that this is a nation that deeply reveres its over 3,000 years of history and culture. And so it's been explained to us that the current Iranian leadership's concept of time may differ from how...
Who talks like that? It sounds scripted and pre-recorded, but I digress.
we may understand it, meaning that if its nuclear program has indeed been set back by months or even years, for them, they feel they can get it back to where they want it to be, whenever that might be.
Yeah, okay. So they claim that they can get their nuclear project back on track as soon as they really want to. The attacks that Trump did not obliterate their nuclear abilities. Now, that's if you believe nuclear bombs even exist. Okay, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole that Jason brought up. Neon J brought it up, okay? He brought up the fact that nukes might not be real, okay? Now, I did a little bit. Okay, I dug a little bit. Okay? I'd never heard that before. Nuclear bombs don't exist. Okay, I've never heard that before. Now, when I started to think about it, it wasn't that crazy. Okay? Let's see, what happens if I click this? What happens? What is this? I'm messing around with settings. This is my first time here. It's my first time solo streaming with my OBS. So I gotta click here. Oh, I don't want that. Automatic capture method. Okay. Nothing happens. Okay, yeah, just video capture. Alright, so I gotta put this down like this. I gotta sit here. I gotta do this. Alright, and I gotta do this. Gotta do this. This. Okay. Alright. Alright, so we'll see where this goes. Now, I just feel like if we had nuclear capability, okay, nuclear potential, we would have used it by now. There's no way. There's no way one of these other countries wouldn't have used it by now. It's like that's the one thing we agree on. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't know. When you look into the same things, when you look into these freaking nukes don't exist videos, check it out. Just check it out. How about this? Okay? How about this? How about we do a special episode with you? Okay, we're gonna check through the docket. I'm pretty sure I have some videos here in the docket. Alright, let's check it out. Now, we're going to check out one of these nukes aren't real videos, okay? And you decide for yourself whether you think nuclear bombs are real, okay? Now, we're going to watch one. There's going to be a specific timestamp that I'm going to point out. It's going to be around 2 minutes and 35 seconds of this video. Okay? It's very important for you to listen, very important to hear. But we're going to check out this video. Nuclear weapons do not exist. I want you to take your time. I want you to check it out. I want you to make up your own mind, okay? It sounds... I might just be a crazy pleb at the moment, okay? And I understand. That's okay. But let's check this out, all right? So, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pop this up. All right.
Lookout Mountain Air Force Station.
Now let's check this out, guys. All right. Check this out.
Lookout Mountain Air Force Station, secret U.S. military film studio in the Hollywood Hills, and it was used to make films of
The Lookout Mountain Air Force Station, okay, which today is a former defense site, private residence in the Laurel Canyon neighborhood of Los Angeles. This is a set, a movie set. Okay, I'm gonna back up. Listen to this guy's words. Okay, let me make myself a little smaller here, but listen to this guy's words. Oh my gosh.
on the Lookout Mountain Air Force Station, secret
Mountain Air Force Station.
U.S. military film studio in the Hollywood Hills, and it was used to make films of nuclear test.
I think I'm just listening to the audio here.
Lookout Mountain Air Force Station.
So this doesn't even work. I have this mute.
Station.
U.S. military.
It's
film
not work.
studio in
Okay,
the
this.
Hollywood
Okay,
Hills.
just want to be sure,
It was used to
everybody.
make
I just want to be
films of
checking my audio, guys.
test-
Checking my audio through the stream. Gotta be sure chat can hear me. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
I'm just listening to the audio here.
Just gotta continue. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, here we go.
Right there in the Hollywood Hills, Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood Boulevard. You know, this is where, and Mulholland Drive, this is where all the movie stars live, right around there. Now Jared Leto actually has purchased this facility as a private home now. So you can see the checkerboard floor, a lot of this pattern around this house, which is a Masonic sign, of course. There's another one, checkerboard floor. Whole house almost seems to have a checkerboard floor, doesn't it? Just about every room. So let's take a look at some of the...
See, these guys love symbolism. Okay, so apparently this was... Now it's available as a public residence that Jared Leto owns. If you know anything about Jared Leto, maybe you don't know a damn thing about Jared Leto. Dude, this guy allegedly is the leader of like some kind of crazy cult. Okay? Some people just say they're out there having a good time in the wilderness. Alright? Hell no. This guy's culty AF. Jared Leto owns this place where they allegedly filmed any of the nuclear footage that you and I have seen was filmed here. It's a movie set.
nuclear test footage and see if it looks real to you. So notice this edit right there. It makes more sense if this was just made.
I mean, let's look at this. Look at that.
That looks real
That doesn't.
to
Look
you.
at this. This is the footage that we have of nuclear bombs. Okay. Back then, they didn't have the ability to do what I'm doing right now with you, which is pause a video, rewind a video, pause it again, rewind it, pause it, rewatch, analyze, talk with, talk to. Okay? They didn't have this ability. It was a one-time, you'd see it once on your screen, and that was the truth. That's what you saw. Okay? Excuse my allergies. Now, what we're about to see is nuclear test footage. The nuclear test footage. Okay, that they sold America back before it happened. Okay, so by the way, it starts with Jared Leto owning, Hollywood actor owning the place where they filmed all this stuff. And now going into one of the first nuclear test videos to date. You tell me if you think nukes are real after this video.
Nuclear test footage and see if it looks real to you. So notice this edit right there. It makes more sense if this was just made in a studio, and you notice the music just overly dramatic and some kind of line coming across the water there. There's people watching. And, I mean, this is not real, you know.
Look at that.
People watching. And, I mean, this is not real, you know. It's just light. They're manipulating light, which you can do with video. That looks just like a TNT explosion to me. And now, of course, we have the Egyptian.
Now these are the blasts that they would show on TV as tests.
TNT light. They're manipulating light, which you can do
That
with
just
video.
looks like big TNT, like he's saying.
It's just like a TNT explosion to me. And now, of course, we have the Egyptian obelisk. Now we'll have a lens flare. So a lot of these start, see that? It just starts with a lens flare. And I could do that myself on my videos. It's just a huge, bright light, so you can't see anything. It looks like smoke, clouds. It's just light. In fact, you can see that there's like a ripple in the middle of that looks completely fake. Like a line in the middle of the mushroom part, at the top of the mushroom. And it was, they just add light to it. You know, so there's some background film footage of clouds, and then they...
That looks superimposed. Does that not look superimposed? This cloud is superimposed over these clouds.
Video compositing, they just add on a layer of something else. The other image of this explosion, which was most likely a miniature explosion done in a lab, in the movie studio, or a real...
Where the hell is that explosion coming from? Okay, where is that explosion coming from? This explosion is supposed to be coming from a nuclear bomb that exploded above land. I guess an air nuclear test. This is the cloud. Where is the bomb? Look at below. Look where this stuff is coming from. It's not coming from anywhere. Right below, there's just clouds.
TNT explosion with lots of TNT done out in the actual desert or something. Either way, it's just an explosion. And even that, kind of the middle of the stem there, that looks completely fake. It's just propaganda is all it is. It's just
Look at this.
lies, deception. And
What is that?
propaganda. And I do believe that this deception will come to play in the end times deception.
Now I want you guys to pay attention to this timestamp here, okay? Listen to what he says. And tell me this isn't coming to fruition today. Okay, this video was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. I'm going to let him say it. I'm going to repeat what he says because what he says is so important, okay?
Where there's going to be wars and rumors will come to play in the end times deception. Where there's going to be wars and rumors of war. There's going to be a rumor of nuclear war. And nuclear weapons don't exist, so it's all going to be fake, and it's going to lead people to this panic stage. Probably, most likely Iran threatening to nuke Jerusalem, right? Or Israel. And that kind of makes sense. That's what Obama's role, one of his jobs, was to kind of set up that scenario.
Hold on. Let's back up a bit. 8 years ago. Let's hear what he says again.
There's going to be end times deception.
This is going to play in the end times deception.
Where there's going to be wars and rumors of war. There's going to be a rumor.
Rumors of war. There's going to be a rumor
Nuclear war.
of nuclear war.
Nuclear weapons don't exist, so it's
But since nuclear weapons don't exist,
all going to be fake, and it's going to lead people.
it's
to this
all
panic
going to be
state.
fake, and it's going to lead people to this panic state.
Probably, most likely.
It's probably going to be
Iran
caused by Iran threatening
to
to nuke Jerusalem / Israel.
Jerusalem, right? Or Israel. And that kind of makes sense. That's what Obama's role, one of his jobs, was to kind of set up that scenario by allowing them to have nuclear power. So now they're going to make a nuke.
Obama is the one who gave them the ability to have nuclear power, therefore creating this whole thunderstorm, Tasmanian devil tornado that is the situation going on today.
And threaten to blow up Israel, and Trump's going to get involved and stop it, and then Russia gets involved.
Trump's going to get involved and stop it. Yep, Trump already has. What this guy is then going to say is that Russia gets involved, which very recently, literally I think today, if not yesterday, Russia and China got involved and said they would be willing to equip Iran with, that's right, nukes. Russia and China will equip Iran with nukes is what they just said. Now this guy 8 years ago just said Russia gets involved.
Well, so the world will be on the brink of nuclear war, just like JFK with the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then the counterfeit Messiah will roll in and save the day, possibly as some kind of ancient alien type of scenario thrown in as well for good measure.
So now, Project... I don't even like talking about some of this stuff, dude. I love talking about this stuff, but at the same time, you're seen as a kook. You have this fake nuclear war agenda. Russia's getting involved, going to supply Iran with nukes. China says they'll equip Iran with nukes. We just had, a few months ago, this big UAP alien orb phenomenon going on, okay? This guy is talking about both of them are going to come into play at the same time. So keep your eyes out for more eyes and ears out for more UAP information. Because the alien threat is what they're going to use. This is a train of thought that they are going to use to unite us so that they can call the shots. We look to them for the solution, even though they're the ones providing the problem. Called Project Bluebeam. But let's continue down the road of nukes don't exist.
Here's another one with the lens flare. You can't see anything. That's easy to do. You can do that effect. Anyone can do that effect. And that's what happens when you point a camera at a sun. That almost looks like the sun, a close-up of the sun. And see those clouds? That's a layer, I think. Those clouds, those dark clouds in the foreground are one layer of film. And then there, in the background, is the sun, or whatever that actually is. The bright light. And they're just manipulating the light. Could be light on smoke at a real high contrast rate. Now, somebody with more knowledge of video effects would know exactly what they're doing more than me. I'm just pointing this out there, getting you to at least question the existence of nuclear weapons. At least question it, And then look at how it fades to black like that, too. It always fades to black, and you see that light. Now, to me, it just does not look real at all. So they're faking these nuclear tests in a film studio in the Hollywood Hills that most people didn't know about.
Exactly, dude. Check out this nuclear footage, bro. It's all from back then. Why haven't we had super recent nuclear footage tests? Nuclear test footage, I should say.
Now look at this, these buildings. Again, the way the smoke comes and stuff like this. These are miniatures, I believe, like they did in Star Wars, and they continue to do, right? These are miniature models that are just exploded. I mean, this is a movie set, essentially. It's Hollywood, right? Laurel Canyon is in the Hollywood Hills. And people at real movie studios worked at this
This is nuclear power, guys.
facility. I mean, it's all documented. You know, people at all the major movie studios also worked here at this place, you know. So Hollywood is essentially a division of the CIA, or vice versa. Maybe the CIA is a division of...
By the way, this will never get shared via algorithm. We need the help of you, our listeners, our viewers, our fellow Neon citizens. Please share this podcast with your friends, share it with your family. Come join a fun conversation, okay? We'll get you the link to the Discord. You can hang out with us there, be part of the show. Give us your 2 cents. I'd love to know what you guys think. Follow Neon Popsicle on Instagram at neon_popsicle. Hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Hit the notification button so you know when we're streaming. Looks like I got the hang of this OBS stuff, so I should be able to do this more often. Hopefully we can stream 7 days a week for you guys. Really just build this community from the ground up. Can't do it without you. Please share the show with your family and friends. If you do, let them know that this is one of the shows that allows you space to ask insane, fun questions and have a good time figuring out answers to the beyond the mundane. All right, let's continue here. Thank you, guys.
Hollywood, you know, who knows? But they're all basically in the same... they have the same role of propaganda. There again, you know, just smoke, light, and clouds. That's all you see. I mean, there's no proof that that's real, and it doesn't certainly does not look real at all. That light is just real high contrast light, smoke, paintings, animation. However they did it, layering most likely. 9/11 they used video compositing, layering essentially. And slow motion, I believe. Slow motion explosions. That's why the clouds barely even...
I got a whole ass video too on building 7, Tower 7. Super interesting.
That's just a slow motion conventional explosion.
I appreciate y'all joining us on tonight's stream.
That's all that is. And then, you know, I've been to Hiroshima, Nagasaki, I've been there. Beautiful cities, by the way. And all that was just, you know, firebombing, traditional, conventional warfare. They wiped out Tokyo, supposedly, you know, and killed 300,000 people in Dresden and all those things. So if those are real, then that's all they did there. You know, who knows? A lot of theories out there that the whole thing is fake, so maybe that's possible as well. So
I just don't know about the whole thing being fake. I feel like there's got to be some kind of bombing that happened. I mean, there's generations of people that remember the travesty that was. You know, I can't think nothing happened, but the fact that it was nuclear. I mean, look at this footage, guys.
Seen here is bright lights, lens flaring. Maybe I'll add in a few lens flares myself.
This is the footage. Do you understand? And now, North Korea has had nuclear footage or nuclear tests, but it was underwater, so you couldn't see it. How convenient. Why wouldn't they want to show? Okay, since when has humanity not wanted to show the power behind anything they have or do? If North Korea had nukes, why wouldn't they want to show how powerful their nuke is? To show and to prove to the rest of the world that their nukes work. There's too much benefit, like Jason and I have said before, there is way too much benefit for these world leaders to agree upon the fact that nuclear bombs exist than there is for them to fight with these nuclear bombs. Just let's continue.
Well, if you can see, I can do it here on my PC. They could do it back then, okay? It was a state-of-the-art facility. See, that's just smoke. Maybe they're just shining a spotlight on some smoke in the studio. Who knows? You know, or they're just adding in the color and saturating it. You know, and then of course you have the sun and the sky anyway, so you just point the camera at the sun, add some music to it and some sounds of explosions. I mean, this looks like the sun for a starter, and then they kind of expand upon that. So now you got the human guinea pigs out there. There's your flash of light. That's all that was a flash of light. Lens flare. And now they're going to look at the thing. And that's just I don't know what those things on the left are either, but that's just a video effect. You know, you have people.
That doesn't even look real, bro. That looks like there is a screen down here, like Stanley Kubrick. Like a screen and then an image. That doesn't even look real, bro.
And then there's like a, you know, in the old days they used to have like a video screen and they would just be on the stage and a video playing behind them. That could be what that is, or a little bit more advanced than that, but not much more advanced than that. It's just layering. Two films layered on top of one another. One in the foreground, one in the background. Now they're going to walk towards it. Yeah, walk towards the nuke. Go shoot it. You got to shoot the nuke. They're not in the same place at the same time. Those are two different videos layered on top of one another. I believe. Puff of smoke that would come from any convention.
That doesn't even look nuclear. How scary? That doesn't even look scary.
No explosion. Flash of light. Flash of light. That's all it is an artificial flash of light. That flash of light is not coming from the source of the explosion. It's just an artificial lens flare. Probably a miniature, I'd imagine. And maybe they have some way to get that column, that mushroom stalk kind of thing going on. Could be using airflow in a controlled environment. But even the TNT explosion does have a mushroom cloud effect. Now here's some real TNT actually. I got this from a YouTube video. This is just regular TNT. Alright, so you actually do have fire and smoke up on top. And you can see this actually kind of turns into a mushroom cloud anyway. See that? Now if they should have panned back a little bit more, but there you basically have a mushroom cloud from TNT. That was quite a bit of it. The nuclear footage is slow motion TNT, I believe. And whatever it is, it's just not real, you know. So a lot of people have figured this out. There's actually quite a few videos out there already on this topic, and I only really came across this a few months ago. Haven't had time to do tons of research into it, but just looking at these images here, and the fact that it's made in a Hollywood studio, it makes me believe that nuclear weapons in fact do not exist. And something to think about, at least something to question. If you haven't thought of this before, at least maybe, you know, hopefully you just question it.
Just think about it, dude.
You can look at a lot of this footage.
Just think about it, dude. Now, if I get some knocks on my door from the FBI,
in Hollywood, California, giving us all the best.
that's why this podcast isn't being shared by any algorithms. You need to share this podcast. You need to share this with your friends. You need to share this with your family. Because this is not going to be shared by any algorithm. It's just not. It's not. Okay? It's not going to be shared by any algorithm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got another one. We're going to watch another one. Same topic. This one's long, but we're going to watch it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It's my show. Come watch it. Come watch it with me. Come watch this with me. Okay? You'll have a good time.
21 days after the New Mexico dress rehearsal, a lone B-29 was over Hiroshima carrying an atomic bomb. At 8:15 in the...
Listen to the words. This was the narrative. Okay, this is what they showed on TV. Okay? Regarding nuclear bombs. This is what your grandparents maybe saw. This is the information that we all saw. Now keep in mind, single take. You had to be there for this. You had to be up watching this on TV as it was being broadcasted. Okay, you couldn't rewind. You couldn't watch this on YouTube. Okay, maybe your neighbor watched it. You guys caught up and talked about it. Okay. You can't do what I'm doing with you right now. So keep that in mind. Listen to his words. Watch his words. Watch, listen, enjoy.
21 days after the New Mexico dress rehearsal, a lone B-29 was over Hiroshima carrying an atomic bomb. At 8:15 in the morning of August 6th, Japanese time, the first atomic bomb hit an enemy target. The bomb was aimed to explode above 0 point, a spot in the city at the junction of the Motaiso and Oto rivers. The bomb was intentionally set to explode well above the 0 point to dissipate its radioactivity. Here is the pictorial record of the result. At 0 point, direct...
So look at this. This is 0 point, okay? This is where the bomb exploded. Right above where the bomb exploded. Okay, apparently they exploded it in the air to cause the most range of damage, okay?
Beneath the explosion. The soldier in the scene is pointing at the spot from which all damage to the surrounding area was measured in terms of distance from the center of the blast. Within a mile of 0 point, devastation speaks for itself.
Look at the streets. Look at the streets. Unless this was taken after a huge street cleaning effort. Look how clean the streets are. If these buildings and houses were blown away, blown up, pushed, what did the streets have shit in them? Almost like a tornado, like a storm hit the town? Why would it look like everything has just fallen to the ground, burnt?
But in these very ruins, Army cameramen have found and filmed pictorial evidence that tells in twisted steel and stone the effect of death-dealing atomic power. Reinforced concrete buildings seem to have withstood the explosion fairly well, the damage varying with their distance from 0 point. Within an area of a mile to a mile and a half, this type of building was the only type to withstand complete demolition and destruction. The destructive circle within a mile from 0 point had a few notable exceptions, mainly reinforced concrete. On the edge of the area of greatest damage was a landmark.
Look at that. Look at these buildings, dude. How would that be able to withstand a nuclear blast? That shit was burnt. It was a big firebomb.
Cross Hospital, which never ceased functioning, although it sustained damage. Today, it dominates the desert of a debris that was Hiroshima. Another notable exception.
The video they're showing you, by the way, is the video that they publicized. The news or the military or whoever. Okay, this is the video. This is the aftermath that they said happened after the nukes. This was the official, but again, you could not rewind. You couldn't watch this again. They didn't have a rerun of this shit. Single take, you see it once, that's it. Picture that.
Into the general demolition was the Higashi.
That was new. That wasn't even new. Like up till TiVo. Okay, once TiVo started happening, the TiVo revolution, if you will. Before that, there was no recording. Unless you had a VCR, you were recording your shows. There was none of that. It was single take, single run. Hope there's a rerun. This shit didn't have reruns, okay? So once you saw it, you took it as truth, dude. Your government's putting it on. It's true.
The railroad station in East Hiroshima, a mile and a half from the center of the blast. This building, however, suffered extensive damage. The twisted steel beams and concrete walls show the effects of the tremendous concussion. What's left of the Commercial Museum, within 0.2 of a mile of 0 Point, also gives indication of the tremendous push of the explosion. Amazingly enough, bridges did not suffer too badly at Hiroshima. This steel rail...
Yeah, why wouldn't the bridges suffer very badly? Oh, because they blew the bombs up above the sky and it doesn't have the... Whatever, dude. It's a nuke.
Bridge 1 mile from 0 Point.
A nuke.
Had the side toward the explosion virtually blasted by flying particles, which removed almost all the paint. But the side away from the explosion did not need a new paint job. Roads in the area fared better than buildings or bridges. Shortly after the fires died down, traffic was resumed. Today, these highways through the ruins are again in use. Beside our military traffic trudge the survivors of vanished Hiroshima, the first city in history to be atom-bombed into oblivion.
Now check it out. Now these next clips are Tokyo, which was firebombed, not nuked. But you'll be damned if you can spot the differences. There's actually more rubble here. In the streets. But it's a very similar pattern to the nukes that hit all the houses and residential buildings that were made with wood and cheaper materials, burnt down to the ground while the commercial concrete buildings lasted.
Do nuclear bombs exist? Your immediate answer is yes. But how do you know? During the mid-20th century, television and movie watchers were bombarded with imagery of what was purported to be atomic test footage. But what were they really watching? They couldn't rewind a videotape or rescan through a video on a computer. So what option did they have but to accept these images at their face value? Now we have opportunity to scrutinize these images to see if they hold up to analysis. Take a look at these trees. Now what was that? And who turned the camera? They're in awfully straight lines, aren't they?
Look at that. Look at that shit.
Now this must be a different blast because it's coming from a different direction. Wait, now they've put it back. But those are the same trees we saw in the first clip, aren't they? And now this. First they showed us these trees that they pan left on. Then they showed
Yep, exactly. Cuts right to it.
us these trees that look like they should be next to a model train. Notice how straight the rows are. It looks artificial to me. Then they show us these trees again. Where's the forward camera? And then back to these trees again. And then they show us what looks to be a real forest that's been chopped down or torn down. Now take a look at this. It's footage of the first H-bomb test called Ivy Mike. Watch how it changes.
Look at that.
That's a composite. Then it morphs into this.
What is that?
It looks like a completely separate explosion. Now take a look at the frame before the explosion. And then what after.
Look at that. That's frame by frame.
These frames were cut together.
Look at that. That
Why?
and then that. What is that?
Then
If that was shown today, we'd be like, bro, that was fake. That frame was just cut with that other frame. But they were forced to take that as fact. Therefore, you are too.
And this frame was cut to this, which looks like the sun to me. It looks like they're zooming in on the sun. Maybe a composite because the clouds aren't moving. Then they introduced some sort of liquid.
Do that.
It looks like a laboratory concoction in composite with the sun. Next is Operation Dominic Fireballs in the Yukon. What does that look like to you? Watch it again. It's the sun. Now here's Operation Greenhouse. These guys are getting all ready to see what looks to be the sun again. The sun seems to start to expand. Maybe it's being zoomed in on. They worship the sun after all, Lucifer. So why wouldn't they use him as their greatest weapon?
Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of have to follow the... It's a cult of knowledge that there's like the sun god Ra. They worship the sun god. The sun is a god. Provides life to the earth. The Illuminati worship the sun. Okay, so that's kind of what he's saying. What he's leaning into when he mentions this stuff.
And who headed up the whole program? None other than J. Robert Oppenheimer of the Oppenheimer family, who is reputed to have been the original financiers who got the Rothschilds started in Frankfurt, Germany in the 18th century.
Huh.
He should do his duty. And to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
You're thinking, what about Hiroshima?
That's the first thing I think anytime anyone talks about, oh, nukes aren't real. I'm like, bro, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, dude. That happened. Right?
Is that Hiroshima? Is that Hiroshima? That looks like Hiroshima, but it looks like it's been carpet bombed. Check out this image of Rotterdam. Was that a nuclear bomb? Now compare it to this image of Hiroshima. Actually, this isn't Hiroshima, it's Tokyo after firebombing in 1945.
Gotcha.
If you accept that FDR might have had foreknowledge of the bombing at Pearl Harbor, maybe you might want to leave room for the possibility that his propaganda machine might have created the myth of atomic bombs. There is no question that the powers that be have ballistics with tremendous explosive capacity. But this shot, for example, could easily be high-volume dynamite.
And that's the thing. It's not like I don't believe the firepower is strong enough to destroy things, big time destroy things. But to say it's nuclear, there's nuclear fallout, this nuclear power, I feel like it's more of a jest by the world leaders, by the world powers, in order to rationalize and or threaten each other on the world stage to justify, you know, whatever agenda they're pushing forward, you know.
And what are we looking at here? Take a look at this house again. Whatever was strong enough to blow it to smithereens wasn't strong enough to even shake the camera. And look how high up the camera position is. Are we looking at another model?
Yeah, how did the camera survive that? Didn't even blink. That camera didn't even shudder, dude. Didn't even like shake a little bit from that nuclear bomb.
And this car, whatever's blowing them up, is not moving the camera. And this building seems to blow up from the inside. Everything gets blown every which way except for the camera.
Right.
Except look at this shot, it seems to tilt up a little bit. Now this is one of my favorites. Watch the two guys behind the glass. Who's filming him? Isn't he being exposed to all that rocket fuel? Anyways, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. If you're hell-bent on believing that they can blow up the world at the push of a button, then go ahead. But
Right.
next time you hear it,
That's okay. You could believe that. That's okay to believe. And it makes sense to believe that. Because why wouldn't we have that ability by now, right? 2025. Why wouldn't we have that ability? But had we the ability, I feel like it'd be done by now. It's a lot. I don't know.
politician justifying the invasion of a country based on the fact that they supposedly have weapons of mass destruction. Realize
That's
that
exactly what we did. Well, this also was made 8 years ago. That's exactly what we just did to Iran. Let's hear him out again.
based on the fact that they you hear a politician judge the world at the push of a button, then go ahead. But next time you hear a politician justifying the invasion of a country based on the fact that they supposedly have weapons of mass destruction, realize that they're not only lying about the other country supposedly possessing weapons of mass destruction, they also may be lying about the very existence of weapons of mass destruction. And why don't they call them nuclear bombs anymore?
Okay, look, I just want to ask you a simple question, without commenting on whether it's true or not. Have you heard the idea that nuclear weapons are a fraud or a hoax and never existed?
No.
None of you have heard that?
No.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask you an intellectual question?
What's that?
Without commenting on the truth or otherwise, have you heard the idea that nuclear weapons are a hoax or a fraud?
This guy's so base, dude. Asking teenagers at the mall and random librarians if they've ever heard of the concept of nukes not being real.
Fraud. We haven't. For sure. Without commenting on the truth or otherwise, have you heard the idea that nuclear weapons are a fraud?
This is like telling the dream characters in your dream when you're lucid dreaming that they're not real. Asking people if they've heard the concept that nukes aren't real. You get the same reaction.
Or a hoax.
To set a naval trap,
what?
Universally?
Yeah, the nukes are a fake.
Well, I know for an absolute fact that they're not a fraud.
What's your evidence?
I served in the Royal Air Force on Maralinga Range in Australia.
That's how gentlemen wear their glasses, by the way. Here. Like this. This is how.
You were in Maralinga?
I worked with nuclear weapons as well.
I can only see what's below me.
Did you actually?
I like to see faces blurry.
I've heard about Maralinga and seen the report on it.
Yeah, I was there for the last hydrogen bomb test in 1963.
What did you actually see?
I was out running, and I was across country runner, and I was running out in the bush, and I knew that there was a test imminent, and I was running along this road, and suddenly I felt it was a hot day, but I felt some additional heat on I'd only got the shorts on my legs and my back, and
you saw some heat. Did you see any light?
Yeah, I turned around. I didn't see the flash, but I felt the blast.
Oh yeah, so this guy he worked on the bombs Wasn't there when they bought. He was on a run when they bought it. He felt it. He didn't see it, but he he felt it as he was running.
40 miles away.
For our most modern city.
Do you guys know anyone who's ever seen a nuke?
Does that answer your question?
It's an interesting comment, but it doesn't answer the question.
Who are you asking it for?
I'm not asking for anybody else. I've got a website on the subject.
Right.
As a result, the Admiralty made
But there aren't many of us left.
Without a comment on whether it's true or not, have you heard the idea that nuclear weapons are a fraud?
No, I have not.
You haven't? You sure about that?
Well, depends on where.
Okay, I just wondered, because most people haven't.
Okay.
So you're in the great majority.
All right.
Without commenting on if it's true or not, have you heard the idea that nuclear weapons are a fraud or hoax?
I haven't heard a thing.
People don't even know how to respond. I swear, it's the same reaction you get when you tell people in your dreams that they're not real. What? And then the walls start to melt.
I just wonder if most people haven't.
No, I haven't heard a thing about that at all, I must admit.
Do you think they exist?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still bound by the official secret act.
Are you saying you were at Maralinga?
No. I'm sorry. I didn't realise you were filming, and I thought it was just a general.
Well, I mean, it's just my.
I thought it was just a general question.
Oh, it was just a general question, yeah.
But I worked. I was in the Royal Air Force, and I worked with nuclear weapons.
How do you know you worked with nuclear weapons? Seriously, it's a serious question. How do you know they were nuclear weapons?
Because I can tell you they were nuclear weapons.
How do you know?
Because of the training I received.
That's not really answering the question. You might have been.
How do you know? No, go ahead. Tell me. How do you know? How do you know you work for nuclear weapons? This guy's just pressing civilians. Excuse me, ex-military. You worked on nukes? Yeah, you worked on nukes for real? Yeah. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know they were nukes? How do you know?
Yeah, well, I can only tell you so much. As I say, I'm still bound by the official secret act.
Or not. Yeah. Have you heard the idea that nuclear weapons are a fraud?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How much credence do you give to that?
Not a lot.
Oh, how come you've heard of it?
I was only reading about it the other day, actually. In fact, it's in Time magazine this week.
Time magazine, that nukes aren't real.
Time magazine? Not internet?
No, it's probably on internet as it's in Time, but Time magazine, certainly. Yeah.
And they mentioned it without believing it, because they mentioned it as a...
Come down either side.
Oh, thank you, that's interesting.
Alright? Is your method?
I'm going to see if that's true. Let's see. I'm going to see if that's fucking true. Alright, let's see here. Go ahead and see if Time magazine. Let's see. Time magazine. But this is the internet, 2018. 2025, that was 7 years ago. The video was made 8 years ago. That man heard about it. This came out after the video that we're watching now. Okay. Oops. Yep, gotta make this bigger. Gotta make these smaller. You. Yeah. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. The soldiers knocked down their homes to prevent them returning and shot their cattle and pets. Jesus. 1957. My goodness. Okay. Most likely had been responsible for the death of Iran. Gosh, Iran. They've never been able to have nukes. They're just like jealous that the rest of the world gets to have fun and they don't. They have the ability to be wiped off the map at any moment. And they don't have the ability to wipe anyone off the map. They're not allowed to have those nukes. Free Iran. Just kidding, guys. I don't want the feds at my door. I'm just kidding. Yes, Iran should not have nukes, okay? I support the current American regime, okay? Just don't knock on my door, please. Blah, blah, blah. I visited places where atomic bombs have been dropped in the name of science or as acts of war, and where radioactive wolves roam. But people fear to tread. I tried also to make sense of our many personal and collective responses to the unleashing of power, of the power of the atom. Wow. I became aware of nuclear technology during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Oh my gosh, so scary. Nukes have always been used to scare us. Whatever. My allergies are melting my face, so what I think I'm going to do is head out of here. But not before I say thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the stream. This was awesome. It's my first solo stream. There's a couple moments you're going to be able to see things, maybe the OBS, whatever, but it's whatever, dude. Community first. And that's what we're here for. Okay, let's unite under the neon light. Let's share the show if you had a good time. Okay? I appreciate you being here with me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here, so thank you guys. Share the show. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit the notification button. Before you know it, this community will be growing. Let's set that goal. 50 subscribers. Let's go. We got 21 so far. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then, Neon out. Much love, guys. Sorry we couldn't finish the video, but think about it. Next time nuclear bombs are threatened, think about it. Think about what we talked about here on Neon Popsicle. Anyway.